Kotlin is big on functional programming, right? And that is expected because Kotlin is a model programming language. And the key concept of functional programming are lambda expression. And that's why you see lambda expression everywhere in Kotlin, because that is what Kotlin is all about, writing very expressive, very relatable and readable code, right? And that is why we need to get very comfortable and familiar with lambda expression. Whether you are building mobile application, backend application, right? You'll be using Kotlin lambda expression everywhere. Even when you use Jetpack Compose to build your UI, you need lambda expression to manage your UI state. You'll be using lambda expression for your business logic. And just like every other programming languages, right? The likes of Java, lambda expression is simply an anonymous function that you can pass around as a value or argument to a function and return from a function too. So let's go through lambda expression in Kotlin and get familiar with it. If we check out the official documentation of lambda expression in Kotlin, right? Now you have this. Don't forget when we declare a variable, right? You have the type. This is like the type, right? And this is a variable already because you say var sub. It means you can pass this around. You can pass it in as a argument to a function, right? And if you see this, they said a lambda expression is always surrounded by curly braces, which is this, right? And so you see this, it's almost the same thing because you declare your parameters here and you are declaring it here. And since in Kotlin type can be inferred, right? Then there's no point of having the whole of this, since it can be inferred from this, and that is the reason why we have it here, right? So let's just go into our IDE, IntelliJ IDE, and break this down more so we get full understanding of it. Based on what we just saw on the site, right? I copied this from the site, right? So let's have something more simpler than this before we dissect this, right? Let's have a function. If we declare a function print this way, right? And this is just to print out from a function, right? And you want to write this using lambda expression. We can have it this way, var printout. Let's name it printout to be equal to this. Then from here, you can print this same thing here from a lambda function, right? And now, when you are calling print, you call print this way. Then print out, you call it this way too. Same thing. Now, this is why lambda expression is referred to as an anonymous function, right? Because see, there is no name to this function. Meanwhile, there is a name for this, right? So, and this will still, let's run it and see the output. This will give us just what we expected, right? Function and lambda function. But look at this. We didn't give a name, and this is fine by the compiler, right? Now, if we have to rewrite this, what we just got from the site, this sum, in the normal function, we have it as function sum. Let's say sum. Yes, sum. Will it take it? Let's say sum. Function sum. I don't want you to use the same name, right? And for this, we have x, integer. We have y, integer. This is expected to return integer, and this should be equal to x plus y. It's that simple, right? Using single expression. But let's have it this way. Close bracket. Close it this way. Returning this. Right, and this is the same thing as this. The definition of the input parameters, you have them as this. This is supposed to return what? Integer, and you have it as this. If you are comparing it with what we got from the site, you have it as this, right? Then this is the body, x plus y, and we have this as x plus y, right? But in Kotlin, you don't have to define this since it can be inferred. So let's remove this to the point of this. This is still okay. So it means you can call sum and pass in 10 plus 10. Straightforward. You run this and you should have, let's say 20. No, sorry, we are not printing out. We're supposed to print this out. No, have it this way. Value, result. Then pass it in, print result. Can you see how we are passing lambdas around? So let's run this. You have this at 20. So let's go a step further. Let's create a new function that will take in a lambda expression as an argument, or we'll define it as a parameter, then you pass it in as an argument. This is what I'm saying. Let's say we have a function format, a function to format two input. The first input, let's say we're just taking in numbers, right? So we have first number, this as integer. Then we have a second number, this also as integer, right? We have it this way. Then we want the last parameter here should be a lambda expression. So we'll give it a name. This is going to take in a string and return nothing, which is return unit. This is fine, right? And in the body, have it this way because it's expecting a string. Now to call this, let's take this out since we are done with this. To call this format is expecting what? 3 arguments, because we define 3 parameters here, 2 integer and 1 lambda expression. So there are different ways to call this. So let's start with the first one. This format, we can have 10, 10, 10. Then the last one here is what? Formatter to be this. Can you see that? This is okay. Now, if you notice what we have here, we have string because we define string here. And you see it is a shorthand in lambda expression when it comes to Kotlin, right? It means just the only available parameter here because we're passing just one parameter. If we are to pass in 2 parameters here, you will see that you won't have that it there, right? Can you see that? It's expecting you to put 2 parameters here. Let's say just A, B. This will be fine. Can you see? But then let's go back and revert it to just one parameter. And you see, automatically you have this, right? There's another way that we can call this format. We have 10, 10, right? Since is the lambda expression is the last argument we're expecting there, we can have it this way. This is allowed. So you have it outside your brace now. Your open and close bracket. This is allowed in Kotlin, right? So for this, then you can print this. You say first call. Then you print this. You call this second call. Let's see the output. Can you see first call, second call? They are all correct. But then let's do something more meaningful. Since we are passing this, we'll say first number should be what? Let's interpolate first number here. And second number, why do I have first name here? Sorry, first number. And second number here. This should interpolate second number. So let's run this again. Then first call result should be interpolate it, right? This you can call it result. You can rename it and have it this way. Put arrow. Then you have a second call result. Then we interpolate result here. Right, this we're just renaming what we have here. Run this. Fine, this is better. You see first call, we pass in 10 and 10, right? We pass in 10 and 10, we see first number is this, second number is this, this is this, the same thing. So you see you can use lambda expression as a callback function, right? You can use it for callback because if you check this, let's take this out now. And you want to return the sum, let's call this sum, and you say on result, call this on result, right? And you want this, you have on result, sum, right? Then we can have sum is interpolate first number plus second number. Can you see that? Then for this, you call it sum now, right? And you say on result. Can you see that? So this is fine. This will give us, just print out what you have here. we have renamed this to be results. Then we have this as result. This should work fine. Great. Sum is 20. Now, if we are to return two values here, or let's say 3, let's return the parameters that we pass as first and second number, right? So we have integer here and we have integer here. It means this, for this, we have first number and second number, right? And here, we only need results that was passing when you were calling this function. All you need to do is to have this, comma this, and comma this, right? You have this and this, then comma. This is fine because you don't want to make use of this, so there's no name to it. You don't want to make use of this, there's no name to it. You just need to make use of result. So you can have it this way. This is very okay. Now you see, this is a function that taking another function. Even though it's a lambda expression, right? So this can be referred to as higher order functions in Kotlin because they are taking in function. Any other function that can take in function or return function, they are called higher order function in Kotlin. It is the combination of extension function and lambda expression that we can create our own DSL, that is domain specific language, because you see DSL everywhere in Kotlin, like this. Can you see this Kotlin DSL? You see dependencies, all these repositories, you see, you just passing the parameters, you pass in the argument, you see dependencies and you pass in argument, right? So in Kotlin, we can define our own DSL using lambda expression and extension function. Let's say we want to create a DSL that ping server, and this is expecting you to pass in, let's say, IP. You want it as IP to be this, then maybe, let's say, ports. You want protocol, right? Just for port, you can have 8080, right? For IP, let's say 192. Just any IP there, right? Then for protocol, you say you want HTTPS, right? So to create this is a function. So let's create a function, ping server, just to make the code very expressive, right? Ping server, this is a function. This is taking in 3 parameters. So we can create a data class for this. We've discussed data class to hold this data, IP, port, and protocol. So let's have a data class for that. We call that, let's say, config, server config, or just config, right? This will take variable IP. This is a string. We have a port, also string. Then the last one to be protocol. This is also a string, right? So this will take in, of course, as you can see this curly brace, it means it's a lambda expression. So we can have it as function. Then this is expected to return unit, right? We have it this way. It's expected to return unit, open and close. But for this, we need to pass in what? Config. So instead of passing in config this way, we can make it an extension function, config.this, and we have it this way. This, what do we have here? Sorry, do you have a spy here? Okay, yes. So you can see this is a bit straightforward and this is very expressive. Can you see you can create your own DSL using extension function and lambda expression. So, and thank you for watching this video. Have a good day.